Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of SOG Tonight. Yes, I know it is not nighttime. It is 12:15 on the East Coast. So this is kind of a lunch brunch type deal we're throwing at you. We had time to do it, and we wanted to bring you guys something differently. So here we are. Let me bring Pete in right away. Hello, Peter.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. Good. It's a little early for us.
Right, like this is not a normal thing we do, but we had the time and we wanted to discuss. Discuss Scream 6, so we figured we would come out, do it this way, give people maybe a midday break. If you're on your lunch break at work, you want to check us out. It'd be fun, interact with us here, have a good time. And we're going to get into it. And we'll also do our normal show. So we're going to have the similar topics we discussed on the podcast. We'll do that here as well. And then I will put that out. I'll create a podcast out of that and post the audio for you guys to listen to. So if you're here, you want to listen to it later. If you're not here, don't worry. We're going to post it as a podcast. You can listen to it on the back end. So let's get into it. Pete, now I saw the movie on Thursday night. Like I had to go see Scream 6 before everyone else because I knew the spoilers would be crazy right away. That pisses me off. So I was
really, I didn't encounter any. I saw it on Sunday.
Yeah. So I was worried. I was just worried about it. So I'm like, let me get out there. Let me see the movie real quick. I posted a little mini review, guys. If you guys follow us, obviously, in this Facebook group, I posted a little mini review after. So you got to see that firsthand. Got to see my instant reaction when the movie ended. I did it right from the car. Then a whole other ordeal happened after that. But we don't need to get into it. So yeah, just give your first impressions. What did you think?
I thought the movie was really good. I thought the acting was really good. I thought the script was really good. I think the twist sucks. I thought it's the worst twist of any Scream movie, and it's just because I didn't care about how it was all tied together. I guess we'll just go right into spoilers.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna spoil. So if you don't want to,
spoiler free. So you have like 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I just didn't care. I didn't care about Richie in the last movie. So like when he was the killer and died, I was like, oh, this is great. I don't care about this character. I'm kind of glad he's the killer and died. So now that his family wants revenge, I still don't care. And I was like, okay, whatever. Everything else seemed really cool, and I kind of was really into it. But yeah, the whole Richie's family coming back as the killers was the only thing I didn't like. But I think that's the only thing that's wrong with the movie. I think overall it was a really good like whodunit, like murder mystery type deal, and I enjoyed it, all the aspects in the city. But I don't care about Richie and his family at all.
Well, he was the killer from the last movie, man, and we got to know him a little bit. So
yeah, I know, but like he's always one of those characters where you just suspected him from the beginning. You know, like I was always it's always the boyfriend, right?
Right.
So,
it kind of, yeah, that was my one issue that I had with the last film was that they kind of stuck to what the first movie had, where the boyfriend turned out to be the killer.
And but then this one is the same as Scream 2 because it's the parent coming back to get the revenge for the death of the child. So it's like it's a weird like I kind of like how they make them similar to the original series. I just thought that the twist was a little weak.
Yeah, I kind of buy that. I kind of agree with that. That was one of the things I was like. They do a good job before that of making you guess. Like there's a lot of people. It wasn't an easy one for me to peg. I kind of knew that the cop, that Mulrooney's character, I forget his name in the film, but Dermot Mulrooney's character,
Bailey,
I kind of knew he was. Yeah,
Officer Bailey.
So, yeah, I kind of knew he was involved. I kind of knew there was something with him going on. But they do a good job when they bring in Kirby. They kind of make you think she's crazy, so that could be her.
Yeah.
Like, they do a really good job of that.
I do think the one thing that's a little weird to me is Mindy getting stabbed in the subway. Like, why does Richie's brother like help her out. Like I don't know why, like I was like, I feel like he just should have killed Mindy. Like why did they let Mindy survive? I love Mindy and Chad. I think they're probably my favorite of the new characters. Mm-hmm. But I was just surprised. Like once the movie ends and you know all the information, you're like, having Mindy live doesn't make sense considering both of them were there. One of them should have killed her. Like there's no point in living once they're all in the death trap. Like once Mindy's like stabbed in the subway with the decoy, you're like, oh, well, why is she still alive?
It's true. It is kind of weird why he helped her. I don't know what he was trying to. I mean, I guess he didn't want to have someone dead like in midday on the or on the train. They were kind of just like, okay, let him keep up the ruse. But that's a very good. And
I'll say this as these directors are probably from California. So the two biggest mistakes they made while trying to make a movie about New York City is one, no bodega owner is going to get taken out by a guy in a costume. Like it's not going to happen. Those guys in the bodegas are the toughest dudes in the world. And those guys don't get mugged. You get mugged. Like I just saying as someone who is frequently in a bodega, those are some of the toughest guys ever. And they don't miss when they shoot you. And number two is everyone is constantly paying attention on the subway. No one is that oblivious to what is going on. Everyone's head is always on a swivel, and New York City has been clean for like 30 years, so it's not really that bad anymore. But so everyone pays attention on the subway. So for Mindy to get stabbed and no one notice it is the most unrealistic thing ever, as someone who travels the subway frequently.
Well, that was another thing also, because there's like a couple sleeping like right there. Like you see the girl she's sitting on the thing, sleeping like that, like right there. And I'm like, there's no way she wouldn't have heard.
It's not even those people. The rest of the people around you, like you stood on the subway to go to various sporting events or whatever in the city, dinner or whatnot. You always are aware of everyone around you because you're always afraid someone's going to pick your wallet or your phone.
It's true.
Or like you're always constantly aware. So for everyone to just kind of be like, oh, this is it. Even when the subway is flickering, like it did in the movie. If someone is, getting stabbed to death, you'd notice. So
and that was kind of that's kind of an old style thing too, right? Like that doesn't really happen on the subway anymore. I haven't told you the last time I've ridden a subway where it's gone completely dark for that long. Like it was kind of a long time.
I've been in some subways like that, but most people who die in the subway usually get pushed on the tracks and get run over. They don't get murked in the car.
And I never it's supposed to be like, you could tell it's supposed to be like, I guess Halloween.
Yeah.
Right. But I kind of never got the feeling that it was. Like it was implicitly stated that it was Halloween. Like in the beginning it was, yeah. But the whole time?
It's a long Halloween weekend, it seemed like.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure about all that. But
I like the deception in the beginning of the movie with Tony Ravioli. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. The opening was
how he was going to go on his own killing spree, and then the real killers got jealous. So they had to kill the I was like, this is kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah, the opening was very Scream. Like it was very obviously very Scream, and it was very New York too. Like that's something I could see happening in New York City. So that was something that I liked. I liked how they did that, and I like how they did it right away with the reveal. That was different, obviously. That you're like, why are they revealing the killer now?
Exactly.
Obviously, we learned that wasn't the case. But I thought the cast, it's a really strong cast, and
yeah.
I feel like Barrera, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, their chemistry together is really, really good. And I believe that they're sisters. Like it's sometimes you have these things happen. You're like, oh, it's, you can tell that they're just actors, but no, their chemistry is excellent. I like the growth that we saw in Sam's character. Obviously she kind of teeters on her crazy side a little bit. They kind of show that a little bit more in this one. I thought the first one, she was just trying to push it away, constantly trying to push that part down. But this one, she kind of embraces it, and she kind of accepts that it's part of who she is. So I thought that was very well done, how they showed growth in her character, and of course in why do I always forget the sister's name? The actress I know,
Jenny
Sam, and yeah.
Oh, Tara.
Tara, yeah. So, Tara too, obviously, right? She's in college now. She's growing up, and the whole Chad relationship thing was kind of weird. I didn't.
That kind of came out of nowhere. Were they like together in the first movie? Like I was like,
no, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Chad and Mindy. Like I think the Meeks Martin kids really kind of steal the movie for me, especially Mindy. Mindy's growing to be like one of my favorites. Like I love how, you know, she now it's like, oh, I missed a killer again. I missed a monologue. I was like, okay, Mindy's a part of this, but she's never really around. And then like, I like how Chad is the new Dewey, and he's just constantly getting stabbed to death and not dying. So I appreciate that. Like you can see the similarities, and you can see where the passing of the torch has been. And I think it's been kind of effortless. And I don't really miss Nev actually in the movie. I do feel like the ending of the first one, since we're let's say 5, not the first one. The ending of 5 is a lot stronger than 6, but I kind of feel like this movie around 6 is a little bit stronger than 5. You know, I kind of feel that way. I think 6 would be really, really good if the twist was just a little bit better. And I could use a break for Scream right now because I kind of want them to. I think that was the problem. They went right in from 5 to 6. Not that it is a problem because it's getting good reviews, but I think if you had a little bit more time to work on it, you'd probably work better on the twist. So I could wait a few years for that. And I'd really like to eliminate the whole Billy Loomis element. The Billy Loomis Force Ghost it was really bad in 5. It was less in 6, but still, it's still there. And I'm like, first of all, he looks like he's 60, and like,
Ski doesn't look too good.
They are not. It's not that he doesn't look good; he just looks his age, and they are not using the DH technology apparently that everyone else has. But I could use a lot less Skeet Ulrich and Billy Loomis.
Yeah, that was one of the. I was surprised that we saw him again. I didn't think we would get that again. I thought she might be just internalize it in this one, but I guess they laid it out in the first one, so they're going to keep using it. It doesn't take me out of the movie, but I do agree it's a little bit weird.
It does for me. It took me out of 5 a little bit. Like I was like, oh god, what is these Force Ghosts?
So yeah, it's a little strange, but I do. I get it. I do like that they're showing her character kind of still have that edge to her.
I really hope Sam doesn't become a killer. I know they've kind of like teased it Jamie Lloyd style, you know, like throughout the movie, like, oh my god, she's staring at the mask, she's staring at the knife, she's staring at the costume, you know, like
right. The whole time where she's in the shrine, and she's kind of walking through, and then she stops at his, and she like stares at the mask, and then at the end when they finally decide they're gonna make their stand, and she comes in and she takes the knife out, like they do kind of tease towards her possibly being the killer in the future. I hope they don't. I hate when they do stuff like that.
That'd be kind of lame. I'm not gonna like
it's
that.
What
did you think of the twist? What was your opinion on the whole twist?
Well, like I said, I figured he was the character, but I had no idea that was his family. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It's not like I was like, oh my god, like they brought him back. It's kind of very Screamish, right? Like they do things like that. It's kind of a similar thing to what they do. So I wasn't surprised by it. I wish it would have been different though. I wish they might have done something. It's always interconnected, but I wish they would have done something.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like, how do you connect it? Like, I actually kind of think that the Scream 3 twist was a lot better than this. I think the Roman Bridges being the bastard child of, what's her name? Mrs.
Prescott,
Maureen Prescott was actually a much better twist than this. So Roman can live on now as no longer the worst twist, which I kind of appreciate because I do dig Scream 3.
I always thought that Scream 3 had a really good, like the story was very good.
The problem was it came out at the wrong time. It came out like right after Columbine, so they didn't want teenage killers and blah blah blah, and they dumbed it down a little bit. It's almost more of a comedy.
They did.
Scream 3 almost has more in common with Scary Movie than it does Scream.
That's fair.
It's almost a parody of itself.
So seeing that this is straight out of Gotham, and we both live in the New York area. What did you think of the New York element? Did it add anything for you?
Yeah, I dug it. I appreciate it. It was cool. I was surprised at how many shots they found I guess, that were supposed to be in New York that reminded me of Woodsboro. Like there are a lot of shots, like when they were coming out of the police station, like it just gave me vibes of Scream again. When they were on the college campus, it just gave me vibes of Scream 2 again. Right. And I believe both of those were in California, right? Woodrow in California. I believe the college is in California as well, wherever she went to, that fake university. If it was fake, I don't remember. But it was fine. I enjoyed the subway stuff. I enjoyed New York City in the Halloween era. Like that was cool because like I've been there. You've been there. You've seen how the city gets like that. Like you've seen guys walk around like Pinhead in not only October but July. It's New York City. Like people walk around. You could legally walk around topless if you're a woman and no one will give you shit. Like it's legal to do in New York City. So you could do anything. I thought it was fine. I thought it looked like New York. I thought they did a good job. I don't know if they actually filmed on location or whatnot, but I was into it. So that didn't bother me. I appreciated one of my favorite kills was actually one of the most New York kills was probably the ladder across the buildings. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
I was like, thank God you guys don't have any fat friends because that ladder would have caved in.
Yeah, that was one of that was like you said, that's very New York how they put a ladder between two apartment buildings and going across that was very good. The New York element for me, the thing that I like the most about it is if you've ever been in the city, if you've lived, whatever, there's a certain energy that the city has, and you feel that in this movie as well while you're watching it. Like there's constant tension because if you're a New Yorker, you live here, like so you've been here, you're always kind of on the move and on the go, and there's constant tension in your body. So I felt that in the film, and I feel like
everyone's got a place to be, and everyone's more important than you.
Seriously. So you kind of get that's why, like you were right before, like how could nobody notice? But it's New York with me to get killed on the subway. But it's New York.
I think the subway is just too confined of an area for that to go down. Like when Tony Ravioli kills the professor in the alley, I think that's perfect. Like, of course, nobody saw that happen. Nobody heard it because there's too much noise and whatnot. Like. That was like the perfect New York City kill. The subway I thought was a little too much.
It was that, the beginning, like I said, is very
because in a crowded subway like that, everyone's standing, no one can do anything, no one's getting out. Like there's no one's letting you move. Like there's no way you're getting to Mindy to begin with.
And it's so weird.
Someone who's ridden the subway, that's impossible.
And I've done what she did. I've done what she's done, like goes towards the back door and lean back just so I can see everybody.
Yeah.
Like I've done that before many times. So it's very relatable. Like I said, that's part 2. It's very relatable if you live in the area. So I love that element of it. So I mentioned Kirby before. Obviously, she's one of the legacy characters they brought back for this. What did you think of Kirby's growth?
I enjoyed Kirby's little arc there. For a while, I kind of believed she was the killer.
Mm-hmm.
For a little bit, I thought that was a good little red herring there. I was really impressed with it. I'm glad she's back. I'm glad that legacy characters didn't get killed. Her and Gale Weathers apparently. I thought that was great. I like that they broke some of the rules. I'm glad they didn't kill Gale. Gale's one of my favorite. I feel like Gale is too important to kill because she basically documents everything that happens within Woodsboro and all these killings. I feel like Gale is such an important character. And even she kind of got used by the cop in this one, which, she's kind of slipping a little bit. She's got, in her little bougie New York City apartment, she's not the hard-nosed reporter she used to be. But, man, Courtney Cox, she has some work to. Oh, my God, that poor woman. She used to be so beautiful, and now she's full-on chipmunk.
I know.
So sad.
She doesn't.
But she rocked it though. That action scene she did, I was like, kicking some ass.
Yeah, like her.
And then her unnamed boyfriend had to bite the dust. I was like, oh, dude, you're dead. Like, why are you dating?
I know. her fight scene. I guess I'll call it a fight scene because technically that's what it was.
It was incredible.
It was. It was.
I don't know if she did her own stunts or whatnot, but like whoever it is, kudos to that stunt person, or if it was Courtney Cox herself, with fantastic job running around that apartment on the ledge, the balcony, over the couches. Really good stuff with the gun. I was really impressed. That's probably the most we've seen Courtney Cox do in a Scream movie since 2, right? When she's running around trying to hide in the sound studios.
And what did you think of how she wrote another book? Like,
I loved it. I saw on a picture someone made a bunch of like dust jackets to fake Gale Weathers books. I would buy these dust jackets just to have them on a shelf and wrap them around real books. Like I'd go to Barnes and Nobles and find books that fit Gail Weathers' fake book jackets and have them fill out my bookcase because I think that's good. I would buy Gail Weathers books in a heartbeat. Like I wish. Oh my God! Like that's you know what? If they were smart, they would have someone write Gail Weathers books.
They would be cool to have like a tie-in with her books. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it's actually write the Woodsboro murders and
exactly.
I don't know what this one was called, but yeah, just have some, like that would be fun.
I think Scream fans would buy that. You got people buying Kurt Cobain's journal. You think people would buy Gail Weathers' books? People buy the weirdest things.
Jacob's watching. He likes. Yeah, she did.
Well, yeah. I mean, even with all that Botox, she's still pretty hot.
Yeah, she did. So yeah, her arc again was great. The punch, like when they had Sam punch her and she blocks it, and then Tara comes and hits her. That was cool too.
Yeah, it was corny until Tara hit her. I was like, oh, that was weak. And I was like, okay, cool. I see what you guys did there. And then they brought it back. Like, you're not sorry. Like, no, I'm not. I was like, yes.
Yeah, she's. It would be sad if they took her out of it. I don't know.
And I didn't miss Sydney, and I appreciated what they did. They just. Sydney's in hiding. I was like, finally, thank God. Sydney's gonna be safe.
Yeah, I've spoken to other people about this. I think she will be back for the next one, but I didn't miss her like I thought I would. There were certain elements where I was kind of like, oh, it'd have been cool to like have her here for that, but the story,
it's so unconnected to her.
Yeah, her story would only still be with Sam, and I guess because she's Billy's daughter. Like that would be her connection there.
You've got to find some way to connect it to Sam and Sydney, and I think they did that fine for the first one. Yeah, but I don't know how this one would have connected to Sydney, so it's probably all for the best.
Yes, and I was weird. I kept watching the movie, and after watching the movie, I kept thinking like, was there a time where I actually missed Sidney Prescott not being there? There really wasn't.
No, that's because Barea and Ortega do such a fantastic job as survivors, final girls. I think the passing of the torch is really, like I said earlier, really well done between the new cast and the old cast. And, I'm bummed out that Dewey died. Dewey was, supposed to die in the first movie, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it's been a long time coming. And actually, the same was true for Chad. He was supposed to die in 5, but they didn't. So he's actually the new Dewey. And I just love everything that the Martin twins bring to the movie. Like I love Mindy's monologues and her speeches, and she brings so much energy. Like I love that.
Well, she's Randy now, right? Like she's basically Randy.
Yeah. It makes me want to check out Yellow Jackets. That's a TV show she's in. Yeah.
The one not kill that bothered me was Chad's. Like, come on, they basically stabbed the crap out of him.
They did, but I don't know. It's just, I'm glad he's not dead.
I'm glad he's not dead too, but after it, I was like, all right, come on. Like, there's always one in every movie that I'm like, all right, they really, really did that. And that was his in this one.
He better have like a limp Dewey style next movie.
Seriously, there better be something wrong. There better be something weird going on.
He's got to have some physical deformality now.
With the character, because that was just like, come on, yeah. But no, like as we talked about, Kirby, she was badass. I love her. The arc they gave her, FBI. She works at the FBI. She's FBI agent now, and she's still like that whole experience. Because you remember her in 4, how that whole experience kind of changed her. Yeah, changed her character. So it was cool to see her added as growth. And I'm a big fan of Hayden Panettiere, so it was good to see her back in something because I haven't seen her in anything in such a long time. So it was nice to see her back on the screen.
Is she still dating the Klitschko?
I don't think so. I don't know, though. That's such a weird pairing. She's like so tiny. He's this huge dude. Crazy pairing.
Tall Hezbollah.
Oh, see, they should have put Hezbollah in the Scream film.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So, all right, where's the next one I want to go? Okay. Where do you think it goes now?
I have no idea. I think it needs a break.
All right.
I think it needs a break. I think that's what it is. I have a feeling they're going to rush the next one, but I think it needs a break.
Do you think they'll go back to Woodsboro? Do you think they'll pick another location?
I wouldn't mind going back to Woodsboro because I like the suburbs. I like slasher films in suburbia. That's fun for me because you don't normally think of it. In real life, it feels like that stuff doesn't happen in the suburbs. I don't know. I'd like a break because I want 7 to be epic because I don't feel like 5 and 6 were epic at all. Like I just need something big to go out on. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the end, if that's truly going to be the end, is they're going to do another trilogy and this will be the end of it. I agree. It's kind of has to be big. Any other living characters they want to bring back, they might.
I'm happy they didn't bring back Stu because I'm glad he's dead. Like,
yeah,
but then they were like, "Is he dead?" Like Mindy even questions him, like, "Oh God, Stu's the next killer." Like, I was like, "Come on, we sort of got to like, whatever way they figure out how to bring Stu's not going to work." So I hope they don't do it.
See, what they listen. That's the thing I like about these two directors is that they listen to the fans because this has been kind of a rumor for a long time, and they used that in this film.
Yeah. It was cool.
And then they just deaded it, right? Like they just like, no, he's dead. But it was cool that they actually put that element in. They actually paid homage to that element in the movie because it was a big thing that they that had been talked about. The other thing that was interesting to watch and that I kind of knew about, I didn't know about, but our friend Reno told me about this. The original plot for 5 is very similar to the plot for this.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know the original plot?
No, I don't.
All right. What they were going to do was try to frame Sydney as the killer in 5. And which is pretty much what they do in this one, right? Mm-hmm. Like they do that with Sam. They want to frame Sam as the killer. So and it was also in New York. Like it was the original plot was very similar to what we got in this film. They tweaked it obviously a little bit. But that was the original story that they were building for the original. After 4, if 4 would have done better and they stuck with that cast, it would have been 5. So maybe that's why they brought Kirby back too, because she was probably going to be in that one as well. And they just did that. So that was an interesting thing. But again, these two directors, I feel like they really understand the world, the Scream world. They understand the characters very well, and they understand what Wes Craven was trying to do, and that's why both these films for me have worked. I really have liked both of them. They're back to back for me in my rankings. So I'm very, very happy that we're getting more Scream films, and this one again was out for me. Was a very worthy addition.
Yeah, it was good. I give it it's like a B. I give it a B. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not up. But it's good. I think it's good. I would rewatch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely rewatch. If someone said they wanted to see it, like told me, hey, I want to go to the movies and see Scream. Do you want to come? I'd go. Yeah. It's not like nah, I saw it already. I'd definitely go again.
No, I had a lot of fun with it.
Yep. All right. So you think it needs a break?
More than 2 years. Like it needs like at least 4 years.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think we need to let this marinate a little bit.
Because I don't know how else, like, where else are you going to go? Like, what's the connection to Sam here? Like, who is she pissed off? Because it seems like she's trying to hide.
Yeah, like we don't exactly every time she's like, because that was her whole thing in this. We're leaving.
Which was the smartest answer.
And then I'm like, why are you? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we know you're not leaving, so why are you saying you're leaving? Like, that's one thing. I'm like, I understand they're trying to make it as real as possible, but it would have kind of stunk if she left and they just left the movie with everyone else. That would be kind of weird. All right, so let's roll into our news because we kind of have a little bit of a tie-in here with Scream 6. Jenna Ortega apparently is in talks or going to be in the Beetlejuice sequel. So there you go. We're going to have her. And obviously Michael Keaton's coming back. So that's another Michael Keaton train. It keeps going.
Yeah, I think this is going to be huge. I think if the Flash is as big and as huge as they say it's going to be, I think that this is going to give us a lot more Keaton stuff. I expect to see like a Batman Beyond type movie in the future. And I just, with the resurgence of Keaton's career, really within these last few years, I think people are going to ride this out. I think you'll see a lot of Keaton stuff. And this is good news because they've been talking about Beetlejuice 2 forever. So I'm curious as what Miss Ortega is going to be able to bring. I wonder if she's going to fill the roles of Christina. Who was it? It was Winona Ryder. I don't know what I was going to say. I think Tim Burton and I say Christina Ricci. Yeah, I think.
Well, she plays Wednesday in the show. That
I got confused. So we'll see. That'd be cool. The first Beetlejuice is obviously classic, and I don't know if Mr. Baldwin will be able to reprise his role.
Yeah, he's got some other problems in his life.
Yeah.
Right now,
so we'll see. I don't know. Like it could be a whole new cast of characters. It could be very well a requel, as they like to call these things. But as long as Tim Burton's involved, I have a lot of faith in it.
Yeah, so this is an interesting call out. Again, adding her to the cast could only help. She's on a roll right now. She's been in a ton of movies. The Scream, she's kind of like a new Scream queen anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool to have her in there. So yeah, so we are going to have more Jenna Ortega, and we're going to get more Beetlejuice. Man, it's crazy. I never thought I'd hear that phrase come out of my mouth. But
really, I feel like it's going to happen sooner or later. They've been talking about it for so long.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like Michael Keaton would want to do that. I didn't think he'd want to be Batman again either. So there we go. I mean, clearly I don't know the man.
Actors
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he has that nice ranch in, where is it, Wyoming or Montana or somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's Montana.
Yeah. Yep. So he's got bills to pay. He's got animals to feed probably, and all that going on. So. All right, let's stick. Let's see. How do I want to do this? All right, yeah, let's go. There's a little bit of news that came out about the film rights. Excuse me, the film rights to Hulk and Namor from Universal going back to Disney. Now, we had mentioned this, I believe, in a couple of shows ago, that because of the Hulu issue, the Hulu sale issue, that it'd be possible that could happen. So, yeah, apparently that's something that's on the table, according to Bob Iger. He's looking at he says everything's on the table with the Hulu sale, and this might be one of the ways that the MCU can get the rights to Hulk and Namor back, and then obviously do a Hulk solo film. So, Pete, as someone who has not loved the MCU's interpretation, what does this news do for you?
It doesn't really do anything for me, to be honest, because I feel like they've been trying to do this for a long time, and I kind of feel like they've given up on at least a Hulk solo movie, just because I think they're finding some success with him popping up in cameo roles. I just don't see this as a need for the MCU. If they valued the Hulk, let's say, as much as probably they should, this would have been resolved a long time ago. I think the Hulk could be a huge draw. They just have it's the one character where they didn't find, like, they found his niche and then they never did anything with it, right? Like, it's just like, okay, this is what it is now. It's cameos. He's not going to be a main star. He's going to be part of the team. He'll pop up, and maybe that's good enough for them. But you would think making a Hulk movie would be a priority, unless between Ang Lee's movie and Norton's movie, there's just not enough buzz. I don't know. Maybe the Hulk is, the MCU Superman, where no one really cares anymore. So it's like, why do you guys keep making movies? Which baffles my mind. I think the Hulk is one of the bigger Marvel characters out there. You'd think he would be a huge draw. And we'll see, because we've never actually seen this version of the Hulk in a solo film, right? Like the Banner version, the Norton version is a little bit different, even though they're supposed to be the same character. They feel like different versions to me. I don't know. I'm sure Kowalski will say otherwise, because he loves to argue with me. They feel like different versions of the character between Ruffalo and Norton. So I'd like to see a Hulk solo movie. I'd like to see what he was doing in space at the end of She-Hulk, when we ever really find out. I mean, we know he's been getting it in because he's got a kid, but that's about all we know really about the Hulk, is he's just getting it in with aliens right now.
Yeah, I kind of hope they do, just because I'd like to see another solo Hulk film, or at least it'll be under their eye to do what they want with the character and not be restricted.
Isn't that what they did with Norton though? Like,
yeah, I don't know what the agreement was for that though. I don't remember what the agreement was.
That was also pre-Disney. Disney didn't own them at that time either.
Right. So, like you said, we've seen this. We know how it's worked out with Sony, obviously, in Spider-Man. working out this relationship. So the easy question was always like, well, then why can't we do this with the Hulk? Like it makes sense that you could do the same kind of situation, but
Universal is not Sony.
Exactly. Universal is not Sony. So it'll be interesting, but the whole Hulu thing and the sale of it and what's going on with that kind of is why they have.
I'd like to know the deal now, though. Like, does Universal get any cut of anything, or do they get paid out for every Hulk appearance? Like, how does this work? I'm curious as to what the deal is. Like, we got a vague idea of how the Sony MCU deal is between box office and then Sony. I think Sony gets a cut of the box office while Marvel gets all the merch. Disney and Marvel get all the merch rights because I believe they own Hasbro and something like that. But I'd be interested to see what the Hulk deal is. I don't ever expect to see Namor in a solo film. I think they've said that as much. Like it's
I don't either.
For a long time.
Yeah, I wouldn't think we'd see Namor in that kind of a film. But again, they have that option if this does go down. So this has been something that's been going on. It's crazy how Marvel sold the rights to these guys because they were basically in financial ruin and they were trying to dig out of it.
Like 1996, yeah.
Yeah, and then Blade, and then look where they are now. It's crazy to think about all of this and how it's all unfolded in the last 20, 25 years or so. But it's a cool story. I'm sure there's actually a show that's going to be on this, I believe, on the Vice channel. Mm-hmm. Where they're going to be talking about how all of this happened and why the MCU is what it is now. So it's going to be interesting to see this unfold. But who knows, guys? MCU might have the Hulk sometime in the future, and then maybe we'll see more than just.
Once the X-Men come aboard, I don't think the Hulk is even going to be. I think the Hulk's a total afterthought. Like as soon as the X-Men come on, there's so many X-Men, there's so many stories you go with that. That's just going to carry the MCU for the next 20 years.
Probably. I mean. They have so many characters, and it's already a beloved franchise. People know the characters so well whether you read or not from the movies. So you're probably right. And then Fantastic Four too. So we'll see. Well, one thing we know is coming, which is the next movie that comes out this week. Actually, is Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
I'm pumped. I watched Shazam last night. It was great.
Yes, I am too. I'm looking forward to this. The haters can be quiet. I don't care. I'm going to see it. I want to see it. So, but apparently the costumes and the suits are not comfortable. Adam Brody recently spoke about it, and they were asking him questions. He's like, you don't feel naked, you feel bulky, you're in a bunch of stuff, and it's more like you're going to the Met Ball or something.
He compared it to the Met Gala. That's really funny.
Yes. So he said for the first one, he said the first one was easier. No, he said this one was easier. Or a lot bulkier and more uncomfortable. And they were also in Toronto in the winter, so the big scene was all in the water, and at nighttime it was freezing. It was the most uncomfortable it's ever been. So yeah, so apparently though, they don't look comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. You see these suits.
Keaton was wearing solid rubber back in the day. I'm sure they've improved. But, if you look at the first ones, they all look like Michelin men, right? They're all kind of poofy and puffy. They all kind of look like Affleck and BVS. It's just funny. I hear these guys complain, like you got paid like how many millions just to put on a suit? Like, give me a break. You're not Jennifer Lawrence, right? You're not getting body painted for 17 hours.
That's true.
So,
that is true.
Take what you get. You put on your onesie and your weird looking boots, and you go fight a green screen dragon.
That's what Zachary Levi called it. Yeah, he called it a onesie. I remember.
Yeah,
it's like wearing a onesie. So, but yeah, they don't at all. They just look like these skin tight things you can't move in. So I totally understand. I totally understand the complaint. But hey, if someone was paying me money to play a superhero, I would wear it. Be fine with that.
Me too.
Would not argue. And as we spoke about a little bit on the last show, on the last Straight Outta Gotham podcast, we spoke about how Helen Mirren broke her hand.
She broke her finger. Broke her finger. Apparently nobody knew about it until the end.
Yeah. Yeah, she hid it. This woman is 77 years old, and she's hiding it. That's fantastic, man. She's one of the reasons why I want to
because you guys are similar in age.
In this movie. Huh?
You guys are similar in age.
Yeah, I'm not that old, not yet. Not yet, but yeah, it's interesting. So she talked about how she kept the secret, why she kept the secret, and she said when you're in that stunt world, the stunt people are so brave, and you want to be accepted by them. So she did it to kind of fit in and suck up to the stunt people.
That's funny. That's funny. I wonder how much stunt work she did.
Yeah,
she must be very close with her stunt person.
I know. I don't know. I have no idea how much stunt work she did, but we're gonna see. We'll see if she cringes a little bit if they miss it in editing. Look,
I don't even know which finger it is. I feel like I want to look at it for the movie.
Yes, you're right. That's Craig, by the way. I know it's his Facebook user. That's Craig Harlow. Yes, Craig, you're correct. 100% correct. You guys are strong people with your tea and crumpets. I'm sorry.
Craig, Lauer hates Robin.
Oh, I hope he can make it. He's supposed to be on, guys, but he had work stuff, so apologize for that. But all right, so outside of Shazam, and we'll talk a little bit about this because I've actually watched every episode of The Flash season 9. I'm all caught up.
Isn't it beautiful?
I'm all there with you. I caught up. It's been CW. I'll say that. It's been very
CW.
It's been a very CW.
How about that Red Death, baby?
That was interesting. I liked that was very interesting. Yeah, how they did that was interesting. Considering I think
the original Red Death sucked. I was like, oh, this sucks less. That's like death metal's horrible, and then they do this. I was like, this is an improvement. At least it's not evil Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I will shout out to Javicia Leslie and Candice Patton for their scene in the last episode in the apartment with Blackout. Mm-hmm. And they had that scene between. That was fantastic. That was good.
But every time like Javicia got hit with like lightning, she gave off this like operatic scream, and I was like, "Oh man, you are so daytime television."
Yeah, like that. I keep things in perspective. When I say it was a good scene, I mean for the CW, right? So it was very well done. That was some really good acting there between those two. But it has Grant Gustin, guys, has filmed his last.
It's sad. It's really coming to an end. It's really kind of a bummer. It's weird. I've spent 10 years of my life with the Flash. The Flash it's a huge part of my life. It's a decade. It really is. From being announced on Arrow, essentially, right? Like he got that first quick cameo.
Yeah.
And I tuned into that because I, heard rumors that, Barry Allen was going to show up. So I'm like, well, if they're going to start doing Flash, I got to pay attention to Arrow. And now it's come to an end. And I was like, wow, this is probably one of the greater runs for a character, and he gets no respect. Like people love Hugh Jackman, but like Grant Gustin gets no respect. And I know the show kind of jumped the shark within the last 4 seasons, but I was like, I don't know, it's still very comic booky and fun to me, and it's harmless, and I enjoy it.
Well, it's not. I mean, I think he does get respect. I mean, when everyone was talking about getting rid of Ezra Miller, everyone wanted him to just take over the job. So I think he gets respect from the people who watch the show, and he should. I mean, I think he's done a good job as the character. Again, I watched Arrow, much more an Arrow fan, so I remember when he first came on the show, and they did the whole story right, how he got his powers. Everything is played out in that episode. So yeah, it's very, very. It's been pretty true to the character. Of course, the CW takes a lot of liberties, which they always do. But
I don't even know if the CW taking liberties as much as it was like Warner Brothers like restricts them. Like, they were never allowed to do anything with Wonder Woman. They had to get approval for anything in Gotham and whatnot. And she was like, the Warner Brothers. Remember when the Flash started was very strict on keeping film and television separate. They were, there was no crossing of continuity. Like if something was on the big screen, it was only on the big screen and not on the silver screen, on small screen. So like something like Gotham was like an exception because it was apparently like no Batman, right? Like you can get away with Gotham because no Batman, and the Flash was restricted in certain elements, and which was fine because then you get other characters that you don't really normally see. Like a character like Goldface probably doesn't appear on the Flash if it's a little bit more traditional to value. So it's
true, I agree. But Grant Gustin did say He put a post on Instagram, and then he made a little comment. He said, "I said goodbye to the Flash and my Flash family on Saturday. Very special day with moments I will cherish for the rest of my life. My family got to see my last shot as the Flash, and that's something I could have never imagined nearly 10 years ago when I started this journey. I got a chance to thank the crew who have worked longer hours than anyone can imagine and are the reason we are able to accomplish 184 episodes of The Flash. More than anything, I'll miss chatting and laughing in between takes, but so many of them. Regardless of how challenging this journey was at times, I know I laughed every single day at work for the last 9+ years." So
good for him. It's a good run. It really is. I hope he pops up somehow in The Flash.
yeah, it would be cool if they put him in there.
I feel like it should be right. Like Ezra appeared on his show, he should appear in Ezra's movie at least once.
I think it would be fine.
It'd be cool just a post-credit scene, that the Flash is having lunch.
Yeah, I mean, we already know.
It doesn't have to be anything about the movie. It just has to be like two Barry Allens discussing craziness of their lives. Like,
yeah,
something similar to like what we all want for like No Way Home. Just kind of like the Peters eating a slice on top of a skyscraper, talking about their day. It's like, oh, who'd you take out today? Oh, I took out Dr. Octopus. And like, oh, well, I fought Hydro Man and Rhino. Like it'd be fun to have Barry be like, oh.
Yeah, kind of like the shawarma scene at the Avengers and
yeah, like scene. Oh, Captain Cold is really kicking my ass this week. Your master's so annoying, like stuff like that over a Big Belly burger.
Yes,
or even a coffee jitters, like something like that.
Yeah, all of that would have worked. All that would work. I think it'd be fine if they did, but we'll see. That movie, obviously, we know it's coming now. It'll be here in June, so we'll get all these questions answered at that point.
Well, first up is SHAZAM.
Yes. But Batwoman also got some closure, right? So that's one thing.
She did.
Yes. We got
it was nice because they ended, for those of us who watched season 3, like myself, we know that the ending left on like some kind of cliffhanger zombie thing. And it was nice to, we were like, oh my God, where's Batwoman? She's not there. She's MIA. And she comes back to save the day, as Bats usually do. And it was fun to hear that music kick in and see Javisha just flying down with her red hair. It was just, it was a sight to behold. And, I'm glad I got CW closure. Like, it wasn't Batman, it wasn't Bruce Wayne, but it's all they have. So I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. And it was good to see. Like I said, I obviously didn't watch Batwoman, as everyone who listens to our show knows.
Yeah, everyone knows we're not her.
But it was cool to see them kind of give her a just ending. So it was cool. She, like you said, she came in, she kind of saved the day as the hero in this one, even though she was kind of the villain too. So that was cool.
And don't forget, this is the last CW show in the connected universe.
Yep.
Like once Flash ends, that whole universe is gone. Superman and Lois is a different world. And tomorrow is the debut of Gotham Knights, and that's in its own world. So
Super
haters, welcome. The club's open. Gotham Knights premieres tomorrow. Can't wait for you to love it.
They're calling it Super Night because it's the Superman and Lois premiere, and then the Gotham.
Oh, baby, Gotham Knights! Watch out, Superman! You're gonna fall to number 2.
Jesus.
Harvey Dent's coming for you, baby.
Anyway, I don't know about all that, but anyway.
Gotham Knights, baby. It's already better than the video game.
Yeah, I don't know. I never played.
Are you going to watch Gotham Knights tomorrow?
I'm going to.
You're going to watch Super Night? You're going to get supered out?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm going to watch Superman and Lois, so I'll watch, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to change the channel.
Yeah, I'll keep it on. I told you I was going to watch it, though. I told you. So
I can't. You're all in the CW at the end. I love it.
So, dude, I started with it.
There, from ashes to ashes, to dust. Kowalski loves that saying. Love and love.
Zeddy, welcome, joining us. Thank you for the support on your lunch hour.
Eric's a German. He's not a Goomba. What is the German equivalent of a Goomba? What are you, Germba?
No.
What do they call you guys?
A Germba?
What are you, a Mercedes? Are you Beamer? What do they call you guys?
I don't know.
Goldenschlager. Is that even German? Is Goldschlager German?
Yes, it is.
Heinz
It is. All right. Well, let's keep with the Arrowverse. We talk about the Arrowverse, as we know. One of the creators of it, one of the co-creators of it, is Marc Guggenheim, and apparently he was not happy with how Peter Safran and James Gunn.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, not you, Peter Safran.
Okay.
But I mean, he goes into how he's kind of upset with everything. But the biggest thing I took away from it was, well, I'll read his quote. He said, "The project, a live-action adaptation of a seminal comic book series that made a significant impression on my psyche, was more than a labor of love." He's talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths. "It was a labor in every respect and a project where I spent every ounce of capital I'd amassed in developing DC Comics-related shows for Warner Brothers over an 8-year period. I called in every favor. I used every chit. I burned every bridge. I even spent $10,000 of his own money. Afterward, my phone did not, in fact, ring off the hook or otherwise. Fans loved what we did. There were tweets, there were posts, there were memes, there was much discussion, all of which I was and remain deeply grateful for. Working on these shows, we always remind ourselves that the opposite of love was not hate, it was apathy, and no matter what, there was never any apathy, except for, well, Hollywood." James Gunn announced that he assembled a writer's room to help chart out what the new DC universe under his and James Safran's leadership was going to be. Suffice it to say, I am not among that group. I'm not particularly surprised. In fact, I assumed they would assemble some kind of brain trust to help facilitate what I hoped would be a vision as ambitious as the DC universe deserves. But I'll be honest, I would like to have gotten at least a meeting. So he's not happy.
I think they're right on both sides, to be honest with you. I understand why Gunn wants to go with his own people, but I understand why someone like Guggenheim thinks he should have been included. You know, I think it's weird that he spent $10,000 of his own money. I thought that was he said no, and he had to drop out his own cash. That's weird. But I feel for him. You know, he's a part of the Arrowverse. He had a good run on some comic books that I enjoyed. I believe it was Supergirl. So, you know, when Guggenheim was announced, I was like, okay, he gets it. He's a comic book guy. He should have got a call. They should have at least had a meeting, at least to say farewell. Thanks for your efforts, blah, blah, blah. You know, because he did do something pretty intense. Like you all want to complain about it and say it's not good and blah, blah, blah. But he created him and Berlanti did a pretty epic job, I think. And with some minor characters, you know, the Flash is probably the biggest name they got, followed by Green Arrow. And then you want to throw in smaller characters like Batwoman, Black Lightning, various characters on Legends of Tomorrow, and blah, blah, blah. You know, the CW, I think, is kind of it should be regarded as an achievement, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, it should be. Like I said, for a long time, it was better than anything they were putting on the big screen. I used to say that, like, wow, they're really doing a good job. It was sad he summed it up though when he was finished. He said, simply put, the Arrowverse hasn't led to any other gig, so it feels, at least on a career level, that he wasted his time. And I don't think so. He'll
get a job out of this, definitely. Someone on TV will see what he was able to do across various TV shows in one universe, blah, 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 and he'll get another shot. The problem is he wasn't looking for a job for 9 years, so he doesn't really know if he's got a shot. But I guess now he will figure it out, how good his resume is. But I think he'll pop up somewhere, you know, like it didn't take Hamada that long to find a job after he left Warner Brothers. And I think Guggenheim could come back as a writer, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it would suck to have to work your way up after, you know, basically running a TV show for a decade. But
and our universe, TV universe. Yeah.
But, you know, things are different in the WB now. So.
Well, we mentioned James Gunn. Speaking of James Gunn, we know that he was writing Superman Legacy, the Superman movie that will be in the DCU. And according to Tom King, he's also going to be directing it.
I called this a long time ago.
You did, yes, when it was first announced. You said, I don't think he's going to write something and not direct it. So but
I just think there's a lot riding on this. Like, let's be honest, there hasn't been a really smash hit Superman movie since Superman 2. Superman's a big character. Warner Brothers needs to get this right. And who better? And I know a lot of people can be like, oh God, of course James Gunn gives the first DC job to himself. Like, well, yeah, don't you trust yourself more than anybody else? This first Superman movie, there's a lot riding on it. This movie bombs, then you kiss the rest of the shit goodbye. Just brutally honest. Like,
you're 100% correct.
You think Warner Brothers is the most reactionary movie company in the world. Anytime something stinks, anytime something bombs, they go back and they get their hands on it because they think they can fix it and try to make everything retroactively better. And it never works out. So if Superman Legacy bombs, you can tell whatever's in production will probably get made and come out, but it'll definitely be all chopped up like we've seen before. So just expect that to happen if it is. And again, who do you trust more than yourself? The answer is no one. So it makes sense that he's writing it. It's going to make sense when he directs it. And when it's a smash hit, we'll all know why, because it's James Gunn.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And if I was, he's staking his reputation right now on being able to do this. So if I was going to write a movie that's going to kick things off technically, yeah, and I have the abilities to direct it, I'm going to do both.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it makes perfect sense.
I think he fits perfectly for Superman, to be honest. People want to argue that his tone, his style doesn't fit Superman. I totally... The man is a chameleon. The man can write kids movies for Disney. The man can write a horror movie in the Belko Experiment, and everything in between. Like, I'm sorry, he can do it all. Like, there's nothing this man can't tell. You can't tell me this guy can't find the magic that Richard Donner found in 1978. And you know, I'm sorry, like, I think he can. I think he's that talented of a creator.
I agree with you. And that's why he got this job. So
exactly, he's proven it.
So let him do it. Let him have his shot. Let him make this movie. And I agree with you. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. I even just for what we know, the early parts of it and what the framework is, I do think there's a great story there, and I think he could tell it. So let's wait and see what happens.
I don't think it'll be as good as the pilot for Rusty Piers.
Well, no, hey, this, we're talking about
it's erotica at its finest.
So yeah, it's definitely erotica at its finest. So you guys definitely want to check that out.
I can't wait for Eric to be at the Erotica Expo in Edison next year. Because Eric in a booth, like, you're the star of Rusty Piers, and then Angela White, Gianna Michaels, Lisa Ann, all around Eric, and it's like
nobody wants to see that. Trust me, nobody wants to.
People, I mean, with the way they pay for your foot pictures, a lot of people would pay for this.
This won't even go to Blu-ray. This will go to like direct to video.
This will go right to Betamax.
It'll
go right to Betamax. Anyone who wants to watch this,
exactly.
Betamax.
You're not going to find it anywhere reputable.
You got that Holzman tape? Yeah, dude, I got an HD Betamax.
They're not wasting time, but
you got it on Betamax? Yeah. And if you wrote good quality, I got Laserdisc.
Oh Jesus, here we go. Anyway, one project that people were freaking out about when this was announced originally as being, I don't want to say canceled because it wasn't, or it was, they didn't know what was going. It's kind of
no. You know what? Idiots who can't read headlines or articles. That's what you're talking about. Idiots, pure idiots.
Well, fear not, people. Batman Cape Crusader, the follow up or the sequel, I guess, to Batman the Animated Series, will be moving to Amazon with a 2-season order. So not only are we getting
a standalone series, I think the only thing he shares with Taz is Bruce Timm.
Okay. I thought it was, even the artwork's different. So yeah, I think you're right about that. So there we go. It's good. It found a home on Amazon.
Stop complaining. Stop overreacting. Read the article.
Yes. Stop worrying.
Look up a word or two in a dictionary. Know the difference between canceled and for sale, for licensing. Figure it out. Some of you, the loudest, most obnoxious podcasters on the planet, are idiots. I'm so tired of your horrible reporting and your inability to read. So I'm doing a lot of venting right now because there's a lot of stupid people out there.
Well, the cool thing that I've always liked about this story is it's being created by J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and Bruce Timm. So you have 3 pretty good guys overseeing this thing, and yeah, it's coming, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. But like I said, in the meantime, I'm just gonna enjoy some Gotham Knights because that's on TV starting tomorrow. So, excuse me if I'm not a little upset about your cartoon just now. I've got Gotham Knights to watch.
Well, we also are going to have a new Daredevil show to watch soon. And we have a couple of little bit of tidbits of information from that as well. So Daredevil Born Again has landed a Dexter director, Michael Cuesta. I think that's how you say his name.
Sure, go for that.
And he will be directing, I believe, the pilot episode.
Didn't he also direct some of the original Daredevil on Netflix?
I believe he did, yes.
Cool. So this guy knows what he's doing. The fight scene will be fine. Don't worry about it. This guy gets Daredevil, and hopefully it'll be dark and miserable as the last show. In a positive way. I mean, miserable in a good
Yes,
way. Like, I'm talking about Irish Catholic guilt. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I want Matt Murdock to be, he's not exactly a chipper person.
And another bit of news that kind of lends to the theory that we're going to get some darkness is John Bernthal as Punisher will be returning as well.
Man,
Daredevil.
Can Marvel come up with an original idea anymore?
So.
Are they getting that lazy?
Well, I mean, the fact that they got so much backlash when they said those shows were ending, when they kind of got control of it on Netflix when they ended them, I think this is the best way they can get the best of both worlds to please fans and then start something new. So, but adding Bernthal's Punisher back to this world is excellent because he said he wouldn't take the role if they changed it so much where it's not the character.
Very adamant about that. Like he's going to do Frank Castle his way, and I think his Frank Castle's phenomenal. Those, I believe, 3 seasons the Punisher got on Netflix, and those are some amazing, amazing shows. Season 2 is one of the arguably best seasons of superhero TV ever. So I'm really excited. Bringing Bernthal's back. I've been a big fan of him since Walking Dead. So he's a great actor. No one plays an angry asshole better than Bernthal. He's really fun.
It's true, man. He's really good. I mean, I've liked him in a lot of things. Wolf of Wall Street.
Many Saints of Newark, he was good in too. I enjoyed that.
He's a really good actor in this.
I enjoyed him. Yeah, he's fantastic. So just great news. I know I make fun of the MCU for their recent their legacy casting laziness, but this is one of the good ones. This really is. Yeah.
Again, it's such a fan favorite. So it was such a fan favorite show. We're not getting Karen Page and Foggy back though. We're not getting Deborah Ann Wall and I forget the guy who played.
Let's see where the show is. Like if Karen's dead, that you could easily do Karen being dead, and that's a huge part of Daredevil lore.
Right.
And Matt and Foggy have been on the outs at times, so maybe this is one of the times where they, the bromance is broken up. So it's not crazy to not have them in the story. Like I've read Daredevil issues where Foggy and Matt have been not on the same page and kind of broken up for a little bit. It's never lasts for too long. But then again, we don't really know like how far down the timeline is this, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's still quite the debate. Is this a continuation or not? Some people say it is. Some people say it isn't. Personally, I don't care. I just want to see it. I don't give a shit where it falls in the timeline. I'm so tired of continuity. If you're a comic book fan, I like I am, like, who cares about continuity anymore? Like, I feel like if you're a comic book fan, you stop caring about continuity in 1986 when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like after that, I'm not worried about this anymore. But yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. I can't wait for the show. I hope there's a big standoff between Bernthal, D'Onofrio, and Cox, and they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that kind of a battle myself. So we're gonna see what happens.
And hopefully, and this is on Disney Plus. So again, like my main concern is how bloody is the Punisher going to be? Like, am I going to see him? I'm sure I'm not going to see the explicit shot of him shooting some dude in the forehead, but how much blood is the Punisher going to get? I'm curious. I'm very curious. I want to see how they tackle it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So,
and this paved the way for Deadpool, Alien, Predator, all that stuff. Like, I'm very curious to see what Disney does with Fox projects and stuff like that, as always. So,
yeah, it is. It's definitely a fair question because we just don't know what they're going to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go forward with this character. But let's end the show with a guy who's always fun to talk about, and I'm talking about Nicolas Cage. He's always a hot button topic for people to discuss. So he was at the Miami Film Festival and he's accepting an award, Legend and Groundbreaker Award, which I didn't know even existed. So they kind of started talking about Marvel movies and the comic books and superhero cinema. So he said he's got to be nice about Marvel movies because he named himself after a Stan Lee character named Luke Cage, which I didn't know. That's a cool bit of information. So he said, what am I going to do? Put Marvel movies down? Stan Lee is my surrealistic father. He named me. This guy is great. He's always a great quote.
Sounds like he's kind of opening an audition for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he says he kind of understands the frustration about it, but he feels there's plenty of room for everybody in the MCU. But then he says, I don't need to be in the MCU. I'm Nick Cage. Like, what is going on with this guy?
He's just a bit of a wacko. He's having fun.
He is. Obviously, he was Ghost Rider, which is not a good movie. But
either one of them.
Right. But he was Ghost Rider.
But even Mendez
also yes. He also talked about not being able to play. Obviously, Superman Lives was the movie that he was, the Tim Burton movie that he was obviously going to play Superman in. And he talked about that he was upset about that. That he said it was more of an 80s Superman with the samurai black long hair. He thought he was going to be really different, sort of an emo Superman, but we never got to the finish line with that. So
thank God, Superman Lives was not going to be a good one.
It was very weird. I remember the movie, John Stepp's movie, that
The Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
Yeah, I remember that. Some of the stories that they were doing were really out there.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Actually, Burton blames a lot of it on Schumacher. You know, like at one point he goes like, this guy canceled my Batman franchise, and then he ended up canceling my Superman franchise with his bad Batman movie.
Yeah, he did.
So it's kind of funny.
He does. There's kind of a lot of animosity between them there. And then, I mean, Kevin Smith had a draft of the movie, and there are a bunch of other people.
And then the giant spider that John Peters wanted ended up in Wild Wild West, which is a famous story. And it's fun listening to Kevin Smith talk about, how he had a meeting with John Peters, walked into his house, and he's like, I walked in his house and it just reeks of weed. And there's this guy with this flowing mane of hair on the couch, and he's like, read me the script so I can visualize. It's just like, I was like, I would love to meet John Peters because he sounds like a fascinating man. He really does. From being Barbara Streisand's hairdresser, producing Batman, to basically being paid to stay off the set of every Superman movie in existence. From Superman Returns on, like John Peters has gotten a check for Superman movies that he wasn't even involved. Like Nolan banned him from the set of Man of Steel, and he's gotten a check. He owns like some sort of rights to Superman film, so he gets some sort of check for every cinematic appearance. So he got a check for Black Adam too. So it's good to be John Peters.
It is actually to sit around and get paid to not do anything. Yeah,
I would love. How do you get a job in Hollywood to do nothing?
That's kind of a cool thing. But I mean, that movie would have been so talked about. Like, I can't even imagine if they had social media back then, like they do now. That movie.
Because I remember seeing the poster for that movie. I was talking to Justin not too long ago. I saw the poster in a theater. It was the silver S split in half, and it said like coming like 1998. And I was like, oh wow, this is cool. Like, why is this silver and black? I didn't get it. Like, I was so young at the time, but I remember seeing that poster out there, and it never got made. I wonder who has that poster. Somebody worked at the Lowe's on Route 1 in like the early 90s or late 90s able to steal it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you should search for it. Maybe it's on eBay somewhere.
They're hard to find. It's crazy. My cousin is a huge Mattingly fan, so I was able to buy her for her birthday not too long ago a reprint of the Hitman poster. You remember the old Matt with him in the pinstripe tux? Yeah. So it's not the original. Someone obviously scanned it and just put it on their own paper, and I bought a reprint of it, and it's great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And it came in like cardstock, so it's not on poster paper, so it's nice and thick. I was like, wow, this is like impressive even for me. I'm like, this is the best $30 I ever spent.
That's awesome.
Because if you go on the original poster's a couple $100.
Yep.
I'm not paying that for a piece of paper.
Too. I know. So awesome. All right. Well, we have to close this one down, unfortunately. Well, sorry.
I love how every time we do a Scream show, Lauer can't do it. It's great.
I know. He started. He was supposed to. And
it's like a running gag. It's like why we don't have Wado on the show. Because we can have. Why would you have Garrett when you can have everybody else?
Garrett, that was Pete, not me. I didn't say that.
Why would you have Garrett when you can have everybody else? I'm just saying. We don't need to spread vegan falsisms around here like this is fake news.
Did you say falsisms?
Yeah, vegan falsisms.
I don't think that's a word.
I just made it up. I contacted Webster to be in the dictionary tomorrow. Email send.
Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, take that, vegan. Sure. Eat your celery sticks in the corner.
Guys, Garrett actually sent us pictures of him making meatballs.
For his children. His children need protein. He doesn't feed his kids soy milk, but he'll drink it himself. What's wrong with this guy?
Oh boy. I'm so glad I'm not part of the vegan thing.
You got enough problems with yourself, Mr. Foot Picture.
But yeah,
would you rather be a vegan or a foot picture?
Oh, I hate feet. We're not talking about this again, are we?
Yeah, but you sell them. Like, what's your bundle right now? You get like what 20 photos for $15. What is that? What's the sale on Eric Holzman's OnlyFans?
Don't.
If you want to see, his meatloaf, it's $35. And that's code for I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, don't. Oh God.
But if you
actually meatloaf,
if you want the schnitzel, I think the schnitzel's $50. I think the schnitzel's $50.
We're gonna get banned.
You can't ban me for schnitzel. I enjoy schnitzel's good stuff. I enjoy schnitzel.
It is good stuff.
Take that, YouTube. As long as you don't say the C word, I don't think they can ban it.
Yeah, I think we're good. As long as we don't.
As long as you don't say the C word.
All right, this show's flying off the rails right now. We're about to crash into something. So
flying off the rails, Eric Holzman on my tails.
Oh Jesus! See, you guys are getting a live performance.
I was watching American Idol last night. All I kept thinking was like, oh man, Eric singing "Kiss from a Rose" in front of Simon Cowell.
I never did that, but okay.
Must have been so hot.
Anyway, all right, Pete. Tell them where they can find you.
You can follow me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, and Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. If you love Hasbulla like the rest of the world, follow my Instagram account. It's the largest Hasbulla fan page in the state of New Jersey. Hasbulla right now is in America. He's taking over the country, and we should keep him here forever because he's a gift from God. He really is. 3 feet tall, 40 pounds, full of magic. I love Hasbulla. Let's see what else. You can follow this podcast, the podcast you're listening to right now, on social media. That's Twitter and Instagram at @straight_O_G. Check us out on Facebook. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. Consider joining. Both Lauer and Garrett are both members of them. Check out my other podcast. I have an episode that dropped yesterday, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast. It's Italians for Spidey. I do that with Nico Caruso and his father, and that's a lot of fun. We just talk Spider-Man there. At Team Yellow Oval, we're revving up with the return of Keaton and all that. That's good stuff. I'm on BatmanOnFilm.com and Batman on Film YouTube with toy reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, all that kind of cool stuff. So check that out. Interviews I got with Uslan and Tara Strong and Kevin Conroy, so that's fun. Check out that stuff. A lot of good stuff over there. And yeah, just again, if you want to subscribe to Eric's OnlyFans, it's at HolzmanChamp33, and it's a pay-per-view site, so you just pay for the content you want. It's free to subscribe, and just if you want to help the show out, it would really help us if you bought some of Eric's feet pictures.
Okay, are we done with that? We're good. All set. All right. You guys can find me on Twitter. Pictures. You guys know where to find me on Twitter at Finally33, spelled Finale33. As you see there on the screen. As Pete mentioned, definitely check us out on Facebook. Both our fan page. Actually, check out the fan page. The show page is just for information. It's just for informational purposes, and you can watch the live streams and get to the podcast there. But on the group, we have a lot of fun in there. I throw up random stuff, usually dumb stuff, but it's fun for me. I throw that up every once in a while. I'm getting a phone call.
Oh look,
and then
fans.
Right, he mentions that, and then. Again, a place where you can interact with us and other fans of Straight Outta Gotham as well. If you're a fan of the New York Knicks, I do a weekly live stream every Wednesday night called All Nicked Up.
You're watching here. This is not good. It's not good for the world.
Similar way you're watching us be here, you can watch me there. It's every Wednesday night, usually at 9:00 or right after the Knicks finish their game if they're playing that night. When the buzzer sounds, we go live. It's me, my buddy Craig, my buddy Ty, and we talk about the team everyone loves to hate in this area is the New York Knicks. So you guys can check us out over there. You can check out my content on Batman on Film as well. I have interviews with Rebecca Romaine and Jerry O'Connell and Megan Tandy and Rachel Scarsden from Batwoman, from Pete's favorite show, Batwoman. Check us out over there. Titans reviews are up there as well. I will be reviewing it whenever the final half season ends for Titans. You will find those there as well.
Gotham Knights can be so much better.
Check that out as well over there. And thank you guys for watching us today.
This was fun. This was nice.
This was fun. Nice.
We did this for an hour and he bailed on us.
Yes, but it's okay. We'll get him on eventually sometime, hopefully. I don't know. Anyway, I will be posting this up as our podcast for this week, guys. So you will get this. You can also listen to this as a podcast once the show is done. So you can either watch it here on the page, any of the pages, our YouTube page. Obviously, if you're not subscribing yet, automatically subscribe. Anytime something gets posted, you'll get an alert.
Ding,
for
ding,
YouTube.
ding.
Yep. So do that over there. I will be posting it probably after I rip it. I'll probably post it tonight or tomorrow. So you guys
Rip
can
it and rip it.
Yep. And that is that. So unless you have anything else, Pete.
Ookshis, mother lover. Ooh, ookshis. Woo, 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 woo.
All right. So for that guy, Pete, and Ooksis, I'm Eric. You're watching SOG tonight, and we'll see you next time.
Booyah!